me finally get some carrots, y'all. And there's some over here too. It's really hard to tell, but this is a deer hoof print. They've really done a number on my raspberries. So I may have to move those someplace else. They may not do well there. Maybe somewhere where I can put a fence around them or something is going to be better. So my tomatoes are quite lush, as you just saw, and that's great, except that they're not blushing. And we're reaching the end of August here, and these should be blushing up and ripening so that they can start being canned. One thing that could have happened is that it's just the way the season went this year. The other thing is that sometimes these lush green branches actually use all the energy the plant has, and so then they don't have the energy to ripen the fruit. So I'm going to go ahead and do a hard prune on some of these branches. Basically anything that doesn't have fruit or flowers is going to be going away so that the plant starts focusing on ripening the fruit. Maybe a few of the others as well, but definitely the two that I just showed you definitely need to be a bit encouraged to start blushing. The other thing is this soil probably does have a higher nitrogen content because of the compost. That's just kind of the way that it worked with filling these beds this year, the first year. So next year I'll be more careful about the soil that they get, and when they're put in it, be sure that there's not a higher nitrogen amount in the soil. So I'm going to do a video at some point about kind of next year's garden plans based on this year's experience. So probably sometime in September or October, once things are really like fully into fall and this growing season is done, I'm going to do kind of like a review of the season, go through sort of what I experienced and how I plan to deal with those things for next year. These are all the trimmings from my black cherry tomato and my two larger Scotia tomatoes. So, I mean, as you can see, it's a whole lot to cut back because things had been so weighed down. There were some branches that were kind of not broken all the way, but they had folded, and so some of those branches were bad anyway. But I cut off greenery that wasn't likely to fruit to give the plant the space to focus on what can fruit. This is one of the branches that had snapped. So one thing I am going to do is cut this off at a node, probably right here, and stick it in the ground. If it'll root, it might still be able to produce the flowers that have already been pollinated and or keep blooming the flowers that haven't. It's just an experiment. We'll see how it goes. So amazing news. If you've been watching this entire gardening season, you know that this garden has been absolutely thrashed by slugs, birds, and now the deer are getting it. I also had caterpillars, but I have to say, like, as far as it could have gone, the caterpillars weren't even that big of a deal. But I just realized that one of the peppers that survived is a Jimmy Nardello. I thought they all got eaten, and that I was only gonna have black peppers, chocolate peppers, whatever, which would have been fine. Like, I'm still happy with having any peppers after the year I've had, but I'm so excited that this is very obviously a Jimmy Nardello that survived. And I mean, take the word survived with a grain of salt. I mean, look at it. It's not looking super happy, but I'm gonna get at least a few Jimmy Nardello peppers out of it as long as nothing eats them before they're ready. So super happy about that. That being said, I was really excited about this pepper, and the slugs obviously got to it. So the slugs are on record as the most atrocious they've ever been in this area, maybe ever anywhere. I don't know, but they are really horrific. Now, there's definitely a chance that I'll still get some peppers off this plant, but this is also the second pepper that's gotten, I mean, you know, this is not ready, but this is the second one that's gotten fairly large that has then gotten eaten. So, you know, I'm not super optimistic about it, to be honest, because I have this pepper plant that has these peppers, and I have this one anemic looking Jimmy Nardello, and that's it for peppers. Originally I had, how many did I have? Like 16 or 18 pepper plants, and this is it. So, you know, not a great year. I'm glad that I'm not required to live off my garden this year, because I would be starving. But still hoping for the best for the things that I've got going. I've got, look at my raspberries, they're just absolutely destroyed from the deer. And here's the thing, I'm all for paying a nature tax. Like, I don't mind that. I'm using land that used to be nature, so I totally don't mind paying a nature tax. But like, look at all the natural habitat, and they're coming and destroying my garden. So I am starting to get a little bit impatient about it. They also overnight started going at my quinoa. This isn't ready until the plant dies back, so I'm really hoping that they don't just eat it to a nub in the ground before then. Next year I'm gonna have to invest in some deer fencing, because the number of things that the deer have taken out is pretty ridiculous at this point. All my brassicas over there got chewed down by the deer. They did have caterpillars, but the caterpillars weren't terrible. I was managing them by picking them off, and then the deer came through in one day, ate them all to the ground. So between the slugs and the deer, it's been a time. I did go ahead in this big area where the brassicas used to be. I went ahead and sowed a bunch of kale and lettuce for the fall growing season. The birds will get it. Hopefully not all of it, but they will get some of it. I've gone ahead and watered them in. Like over here, for instance, where I planted an absolute ton of carrots, and there's only like, I think I planted 3 different packs of carrots around this whole area. And one bird in particular would be out here digging all the time. So, you know, I've got the carrots that I've got, and again, thankful for it, but it would be nice if they could not eradicate everything. I did also pull some slugs off my beans this morning. The San Marzanos are finally starting to blush. Little baby toads came back to my garden. So cute. pulling back the tarp to do some prep work, and there's this awesome snake skin under here. It's super cool. Well, the grass didn't get the memo about the project idea here, so I'm just gonna have to pull up all this grass. This pile was pulled up from around here. So I'm gonna continue pulling grass, and then I'm gonna do my best to kind of level some of this out. And then I'm gonna put some cardboard down and weigh that down. I'm hoping the cardboard will do a better job than the tarp. It is a white tarp, so light was getting through it. That was probably what happened, but that was kind of the biggest tarp I had, so I just went with it. So I'm just going to get some of this grass pulled up and get some cardboard down. Are you king of the hill? Queen of the hill? Oh my god, that is a cute animal. What are you doing? I don't know. Look at that guy. He's cute. Are you gonna spit on me? Oh, holy. Hi, you're so cute. Are you gonna try and spit at me?
Do they not like that you're here, or do they want treats?
I don't know, but I don't have a treat. It probably doesn't like that I don't have a treat. Oh, you're so cute.